there's some quite creative thinking around now about what that could look like. With 700,000 settlers now in the West Bank. Is the demand that they all return, or is that there's some kind of right of residence where they don't have citizenship in the Palestinian state but have Israeli citizenship, but you have the two states working quite closely together? That may seem idealistic at the moment, but it's what people on both sides of the line in Palestine and Israel are discussing. But I'm also concerned that a lot of the very one-sided commentary we hear, when Israel kills the senior Palestinian negotiator in Iran,
yes,
Iran then is told it can't retaliate. When Israel has the pager attack on Lebanon and then takes out the leader of Hezbollah, and I understand also a single Iranian commander, there are then threats issued to Iran that it cannot retaliate or others will retaliate. I mean, can we all just take a step back here?
Yes.
We're in an eye for an eye, tooth for tooth. We know what happens if this goes on. Some of the Iranian missiles will get through. More of the residual Hezbollah missiles will get through. More Israeli bombing attacks will kill more people. I mean, this is a catastrophe, and it's on our watch. And I really think our diplomats, the diplomats of every country with a voice, need to be saying enough. This kind of approach cannot continue.
There's that escalation ladder they talk about. And just one comment from me on that. I see that our government has publicly condemns the one side but not the other, and that's
the problem. We have always prided ourselves on having an even-handed approach. And to some extent that has prevailed. For example, our foreign minister's comments at the UN on the subject, I'd find very little to disagree with. But I think at a level above that, we've seen these statements where our Prime Minister has made statements with Prime Ministers of Canada and Australia, which are well subpar where New Zealand diplomacy has been on these issues. So, it's a very precious thing to keep your reputation for acting on a basis of principle and international law and what's fair. And I think, that there's a danger that we're departing from that. I think, for example, entering into support for the bombing of the Houthis was quite wrong. I've followed Yemeni affairs for many years since I was at UNDP. I've visited the country. I've seen the Houthis withstand years of bombing by the Saudi Arabians and United Arab Emirates. Frankly, a few bombing raids from the US and friends, supported by New Zealand, aren't going to stop the Houthis. What the Houthis want is an end to the conflict in Gaza. Right? So again, we keep coming back to, can we please address the root problems
the root cause of it?
So in a few days, the Americans will go to the ballot and elect a new president. A Trump 2.0 could...
And upcoming at Diplosphere, you'll see these events. We have Trump 2.0 versus Harris 1.0. How should New Zealand prepare? Then the worldly woman of Wellington through the eyes of Australia, India, Turkey, Argentina, and Ireland. Join us at Diplosphere.